Good evening and welcome to Real World News TV. I'm Shara Ann Tappan, and joining me tonight is my co-host Reggie Kearney, editor-in-chief of the Urban Sentinel, and our illustrious and beautiful producer Tony Breedlove. Good evening, folks. How are you?
Hey, what's up?
Oh, what's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
How you doing, Miss Jara?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. A little tuckered, but other than that, I'm all right.
Oh, that's all of us. That is
Yeah.
all of us.
Sick and tired, as tonight's show will
Being sick and
surely
tired.
demonstrate. Tonight's topic is waiting while black, while we discuss what occurred in the Philadelphia Starbucks and in several establishments throughout the country. It's really getting exhausting. I don't blame Starbucks because it's not like they train their people to be racist. I commend the CEO taking immediate action. And I find it interesting in our community. If he had done nothing, people would have complained. He's done something, and people are still complaining. They're closing 8,000 stores nationwide to hold sensitivity training and training on racial bias. I believe that manager was fired, or at least they're not at that location anymore. So the presumption is they were fired, but they could have been moved to another location for all we know. But I think it's interesting. I don't think Starbucks has shown itself to be somewhat socially conscious over the years, I think. And I don't think that boycotting them is the proper response in this instance. Reggie, what do you think?
I agree and I disagree. I'm old school. Burn place down, okay?
Oh my God, no, Reggie, no.
Okay, listen. We have to. My desire is to have a boycott, okay? Now, a lot of people have come back and said, give the young lady a chance. You got to realize this happened twice. It happened out of LA also. Give the young lady a chance. Things aren't as bad as they look. The CEO did come out right away and address the issue, which I appreciate. And somebody posted that, they have a black COO. That doesn't mean nothing to me.
They have a what?
A black COO, Chief Operating Officer. I think she came in on during the fall. That doesn't mean anything. Sometimes people react differently when you boycott them. And one reason why I'm saying we probably need to boycott them is send a message nationwide, okay, that we as African Americans don't want to tolerate too much more BS, okay? I think what has happened, Starbucks just happened to be the company get caught up in the middle of it, okay? And I think that's why they're receiving so much backlash. If you listen to some of the comments that come from people in Philadelphia, they're just sick and tired of being sick and tired, okay? So what happens, you have a company like Starbucks just got caught up in the middle, unfortunately. Even though he's doing the right things, okay? Whether it's from the heart or for publicity, he's doing the right thing.
He seems genuine to me in his speech.
Well, when you got 8,000 locations, you need to sound genuine. Okay?
Please, H&M didn't give a damn, and they keep falling for it.
People can go to 7-Eleven, they can go in a convenience store to buy coffee, they can make coffee at home, okay? And there are some great African-American coffee shops throughout the country, okay? We have 3 in this area, okay, that are great. They're a little spread out, so it's kind of hard to get to them, but we do have 3 great coffee shops owned by African-Americans here in the DMV, okay?
Okay, but then you look at companies like H&M who have habitually stepped in it with racist decals on their T-shirts, swastikas. They perpetually show, to put it mildly, a lack of empathy and understanding about assorted communities, whether it's the African-American community or the Jewish community. They don't learn the lesson. Boycotting them makes more sense to me because that was a corporate decision than boycotting Starbucks because an idiot worked on their staff. I agree that a message needs to be sent nationally that we're tired of this shit and we don't want to put up with it anymore. If there were a way to do screening of applicants to see if they have any racial bias. That would be interesting, but I mean, I don't know that that would be legal.
But you can't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So, we just, there's this air of permissibility that exists in the country right now. It's okay for racists to act out. Look at that grandma. I forget what state it was in, where she attacked two soldiers in what?
Georgia.
In Georgia, right, Macon, Georgia, where she attacked two black female soldiers in uniform, and her son, or I think that was her son with her son-in-law, making racial slurs against them and physically assaulting them, and then trying to lie to the cops about what happened. People think that it's okay to act out. So I'm all for posting these things on Facebook and social media and letting them be outed in their communities as the assholes that they are, as those individuals at Starbucks should have been outed as the assholes that they are. It's not acceptable. But I don't know what all else the CEO of Starbucks could do or would be expected to do. It's a national problem, not a Starbucks problem.
Well, I think you need to send a message that it's not going to be tolerated. But it's kind of hard to send a message when you only got a handful of the community participating in it. That's where the disconnect has come with the civil rights movement. Back in the day, if we said boycott, we didn't care who you are, what you did, you got boycotted, okay? Because of the fact we are so feeling like that we have come and we can do whatever we want to do and spend our money, we had a disconnect to actually go out and boycott. Because, I mean, honestly, how many African Americans are going to give up that cup of Starbucks every day, okay? This is reality, okay? We are not social conscious people anymore, okay? We accept things for what they are. And that's why I said Starbucks has just gotten caught in the crosshairs, okay? If you listen to the people that they talk to in Philadelphia, again, I say they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, okay? A strong message needs to be sent to white America, that and others that would find it not harmful to treat us negatively, that we're just not going to tolerate this stuff no more, okay?
Yeah. On the store level, I think it's a little bit easier to boycott. You could stop going to a store in a community and eventually it won't be able to afford its rent and move. On a larger scale, I think it's hard to boycott. I mean, look at Johnson & Johnson and Coca-Cola and Nabisco and how many pots they have their hands in. You would have to boycott like hundreds of products in order to have an impact, and you would have to know all of their subsidiaries and the sister companies that they have in order for that effect to even be felt on that scale. Tony, what do you think?
You know what? I have to go back to something that you said right in the beginning, and it was knowing who these people are putting in these locations, whether it be in the retail industry, whether it be in the industry, no matter where. I think from the very beginning, you have an inkling as to the people whom you are bringing on to your staff, whether it's in a retail market like Starbucks, or whether it's at the corporate end in their corporate offices. When you sit down with an individual, there are ways that you can figure out who they are right there in that interview without asking the question.
If you're sensitive to that.
Well, sensitive in what manner?
I guess if you're socially conscious and sensitive of an issue. But so many people are friggin' oblivious. It's outside of their scope of influence. It doesn't even occur to them.
Well, they're oblivious because they don't feel that it affects them.
Exactly.
They don't feel that it affects them. But I think that, yes, this person, it wasn't so much as the company putting them in place. You can't train people. I've been with companies who offer diversity training, right? And they put those diversity training pieces in place so that they could hopefully to the employees who might be of non-color, right, of the white race. And they put that together so that they can intermingle and work with their employee or their counterparts of color. But no matter how much diversity you put in place as a teaching tool, racism and prejudice starts from the home.
Mm.
So you can't teach someone to be a decent human being.
Well, the other side of that corporate training, you know, I don't know how many people genuinely expect to change anybody with that changing. I think that those seminars are more for protecting the company so that they can say they did it. So if there's a lawsuit later on, they took the steps necessary.
Right. We've offered this. No, this shouldn't have happened.
Right. Like sexual harassment training. You know,
Exactly.
an asshole's going to be an asshole. Pardon my French.
Exactly.
Channeling my inner Tony here. You know.
But then I want to touch on something that Reggie said about boycotting. I think that since we all have been on the air, I think that we have had the opportunity to see so many injustices happen right before our eyes. And if we pay attention to social media, we see people who will send out this list of companies to boycott. Have you seen them? Okay. Now, what good does that do when the people that you're sending it to that are supposed to be, air quote, about injustice or upset about injustice, and they don't feel that boycotting is really going to do any good? It lands us right where we are right now, in this very spot, talking about this very issue of boycotting. People will not boycott like they used to when we were in the 50s and the 60s. Happen because people are so used to the things.
The creature comforts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not going to give up their things, no matter what. We know that Walmart has, they cornered the market in the retail industry from corner to corner. They have undersold, outsold, outbid every contract, every product that there is out there, right? And the moment that we know they have been unfair to their workers, and we know that. I'm not going to say the moment. We know that they're unfair to their workers. They offer a lower wage than a lot of the retail giants do. They don't offer benefits. They treat their employees like shit, but we still shop there.
Of course.
We don't want to give up the things. And until we start to understand that through any process of making things happen, that we have to give up something. Everything that we surround ourselves with, those things, we don't even need those things. You know, everything is monetary, or it's the way we live. We don't even know what it's like to suffer, to give up. We really don't, because we don't want to give up those things that are so readily available for us. And until we say that, you know what, I have had enough, and I can do without my cable, I can do without, my television, I can do without, my Starbucks. Until we can say that and actually mean it.
Well, it's never going to happen because we're consumer slaves, okay?
Exactly.
We never just sit back as black folks and lay on our butts and not do anything. And that's the attitude a lot of African Americans have been. They're slave to consumerism. They don't want to do anything, but they are complaining in a minute about injustices they receive, but they won't do anything about it.
Right.
So I'm very disappointed in us that as a people, we have forgotten our roots, okay? We're highly paid slaves. We must realize that. We're only going to be allowed to go so far in corporate America, okay? They have their goals and limits set where they would put us at, okay? We do have some highly qualified African Americans that do hold some prominent positions with different companies, Fortune 500 companies, but I don't even think you can get to count them all on both hands, okay? Because it might be 7 or less, okay? So they've mapped it out that they want, corporate America is always going to be maintained and controlled by whites, okay, at the top, okay? And so, we have to, like I said again, we have to do targeted boycotting to make them feel the pain. Okay,
Right.
and see, think about it. We're the #1 consumer in the country, just about. Okay, we might be 12, 13% of the population, but we spend all our money at Walmart and Target and all those places. Stuff that we
But see, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
We are the ones who are spending all of our money. We don't invest in anything. We don't put our money into programs that help our children.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do shit within our community, but continue to allow the Walmart store to open up every day, or sometimes even 24 hours a day. They never close.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we don't have the power that we could have, because we spend our money too fast, so easy. You know, the new TV, the new 4K came out. Ooh, let me go buy it. Why? Shit, you got 3 TVs.
I mean, if you look at Black America keeps Nike shoes in business, okay? If they didn't have the Michael Jordan brand, Nike wouldn't be so powerful as they are. But we, as consumers in the African American community, buy a new pair of Jordans every time they come out. If they had a new pair coming out every day, we would find a way to buy it. And that's the bottom line of it. So, I mean, we've attached ourselves to things that don't even benefit us, okay?
Exactly.
You can buy as many tennis shoes you want, but can you carry them to the grave with you?
I can't tell you how old my sneakers are, okay?
Yeah.
I still have the same ones. They're probably about 15 years old.
And I go out and buy I go to Famous Footwear somewhere and pay $30 for a pair of sneakers. I ain't paying no $200 for no sneakers.
Exactly. It's a comment that one of our viewers has posted. Is just so big. I'm going to show you how big it is. It's going to cover the screen, but I'm going to put it up. And this is Marcella.
Mm-hmm.
But Marcella, I'm just going to take that down and read it off screen, because it does cover up the host. Okay, so let me just say that you can't cover up the host's face. Anyway, so Marcella says that she can't understand how people don't see people for who they are. Just people. Ignorance motivated by fear is an evil combination that white America has been living off of for all of these hundreds of years. Them Confederate flag bearing folks are obvious to the notion that they lost the war. They must collectively and individually work through their innate ignorance and their demons, and admit and apologize for it, and work on the current state of the same issue so we can work this problem and finally realize a dream that has become one nation's, that women, she put men, are created equal.
Woman.
Should be treated, and should be treated the way we ourselves would like to be treated. Good night. Good night to you, Marcella.
Hey, thank you, Marcella.
Yeah,
I'm glad that she commented. And you know what? She's right. What do you say about that?
Well, as a Black man, you know, and it doesn't have that much to Black women, okay? We are feared, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for some innate reason, we are feared as individuals, okay? It looks like we got crime written across our forehead when whites approach us, okay? Or if we go into a business. I remember back in 1982, and I was with a company, and that was before your time, Sharon. But I was with a retail company, and I just happened to be in a location that was in Knoxville, Tennessee. I was visiting someone in Knoxville, Tennessee that weekend. And I was located in Ohio. And, you know, I was just in jeans, t-shirt, summertime, shorts, you know, looking like thug problem to that white store detective. And I didn't have nothing on me. And this idiot woman, white woman in Tennessee, is going to stop me for shopping. So I told her who I was. She really didn't give a crap, you know. I said, "Now, what you going to charge me if I ain't got nothing?" I said, rest assured, I'll make sure you lose your job and everything. I said, but I said, before you take this any further, I said, I think you think about it. But she was so adamant that I had done something, I made sure she lost her job. But they see us, if we're not in suits and neckties, then they see us in a different light. Okay.
It doesn't matter if you are in a suit or a necktie.
Yeah, yes, it does to a certain extent. I've been in those situations too, where I'm more respected in a suit and necktie by a white person than I am without being in one. Like somebody said about the police commissioner in Philadelphia, let him take off his uniform. He's going to be treated the same way that those gentlemen were treated in Starbucks. And that's how we are viewed, okay? Because, it's just like the incident in LA, at the LA Starbucks. White guy comes in, hasn't purchased nothing, asks for the code to the bathroom. Young lady gives him the code, lets him in. Black guy comes in behind him, asks for the code. No, you haven't bought anything, so you can't go in.
Yeah, there's this presumption of guilt,
Yeah, but then when he asks why, she can't explain herself. Okay? And then she's going to ask him to leave. See, that's the problem we have. We are looked at as dangerous creatures, okay? That's the first problem. First, white folks got to get past looking at us as being creatures that are dangerous, okay? I get so freaking tired of if I don't have a suit and necktie on being treated differently than when I have a suit and necktie on.
Yeah.
Okay? That's very frustrating, okay, for a black man to be treated that way. I don't care if you got dreadlocks, tattoos across your forehead, or whatever. You still a person. You shouldn't be judged by the way you look. But that's how we as black men are looked at. Okay, they see you coming. You can walk down the sidewalk and you on one side, and a white lady coming down the other side. She sit clutching her purse like I want to grab it. Those are the frustration. That's what we have to go through in America as black men. Okay, that's why I said boycott it, burn it down. I don't care. But things have got to change. But it's not going to change. Just like the young lady said just now, when it's never going to happen. Because you got a certain population of a certain amount of whites in this country that still think we're in 1865 in slavery. And they haven't lost racial ways.
So let me ask you guys both this question. Because I know that I think a lot of times when we do these shows, we always talk about a solution, right? And I think we come up with the same answer. But what do you tell someone like, say, for instance, Reggie, you go in the store and you're not dressed to the nine, got on sweatpants, t-shirt, your sneakers, and you've got someone following you around the store. What do you tell them?
You don't get from behind me, they're going to wish the head guy from behind me.
But what do you tell them?
That's what I tell them. I let them know I will have your job. You don't know who I am. Don't even try to mess with me, okay? I stand my ground against these white store detectives and stuff. So I'm not going to tolerate it. And then after that, I'm not going back to that business no more. Now, I'll drop you in a heartbeat. I might have holes in my underwear. If you mess with me, I'm going to keep them holes in the underwear because I'm not going to shop with you no more. Okay, it's just as simple as that. But like I said, again, we so attached to commercialism, we just can't break that cycle. So that's what
because you know what, I think that, we can sit here and preach all day long about, getting together in our community and striking back and boycotting and all this. I think that we have come to a point right now in our everyday lives, no matter who you are, if you are of a person of color, no matter what the hue, you will be followed in a store. You will be watched throughout a mall. And I think that we have come to that time where now we have to face it head on and stop allowing it. Stop allowing people to tell you that, you look suspicious. Suspicious how? Question them. Turn the ball and put it right back in their court as to why that they feel that they have to follow you around in the store, or in the case of the two gentlemen in Philadelphia. What do you mean you want to arrest me? The only problem that I do have with that particular incident, well, I shouldn't say it's a problem. What I should say is that I am proud that these young men did not become combative.
Yeah, they comported themselves well. Yeah.
Yeah, because it could have gone wrong. But they would have had every right to question, why do I have to leave when all these other white folks in here, they've been sitting and I don't see a drink in front of them? You know, everybody in there, I'm sure, did not have a Starbucks coffee cup.
Well, what was also heartening was that there were other people in the establishment, in this instance, white people, who stood up and were asking, what the hell's going on? Why are you doing this? This isn't right.
Yeah.
So that was heartening. It depends on my mood. When I'm in a store, if that happens, sometimes I'll turn around, walk up to the individual and engage them in conversation. Either they will engage me back in conversation and I'll keep them occupied that way. They'll realize that I'm not this big, scary whatever they think I am. Or they'll feel so awkward that they'll walk away. And if I'm feeling particularly annoyed, I'll probably just wander the store for a really long time, picking up odd objects here and there and taking my time. They want to spend their day following me, fine.
Yeah, and I agree with that, because I know I've had a couple of instances where I go in the store and hell, sometimes I don't look like this. It's like, I have a ball cap on and I'm looking like I belong in the world of love and hip hop. That's just the way I do it sometimes. And I've been followed. I have been ogled, trying to see what I was doing. But as soon as I turn and I then direct my conversation to them and ask them, can I help you? And they might say, oh, well, we're just, hoping that everything is okay and you're finding everything okay. But as long as they feel that I am now turning the ball and putting it in their court as to give me some answers, they leave me alone. They leave me alone. And I think it's time that we all need to do that, is stop allowing someone to subject you to racial behavior or being put in this category that you are a bad person. A lot of us, I think, we have such a diverse race of people. We come in all hues, we come in all sizes. A lot of us articulate very, very well. And that's what you'll find with a lot of blacks today. And once they hear you open your mouth and you start directing the questions as to why are you following me? What have I done? They leave you alone. They will leave you alone. Well, they have with me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I am that big, black, scary woman. I don't know, but I'm not going to put up with it. I just don't. If I get a look that's just off base, that's just me. That's just me. And then I do become a scary black woman.
And you got to realize, one of the gentlemen that walked in the store in Philadelphia was a billionaire, okay? He was a billionaire businessman, a white businessman who lives in the area, who frequents that location. And he even asked the question, what was going on? What was wrong? Why would these two guys being harassed, basically, by the police officers? Why were they being arrested? So, he was disappointed in it. And then, you see, this is another thing, a problem I got, too. We got to have our hair did and done, and whatever you want to call it. And we'll go into these Asian stores, and the first thing they do, they start following you around, peeping around the corner, looking at what you're trying to do. And go into an Asian store sometime and look out. They come from behind the counter, they peeping around the corner. You turn around, look out, and they jump back. All you
gotta do is go boom.
Yeah. Actually, I'll surprise them and say hello to them in their language, and that tends to freak them out for a second. Like if it's a Korean store, I'll be like, "Hey, 안녕하세요, 샤난탑입니다," and they're just like, "What?" And it freaks them out, and it makes them drop that sort of veneer for a second. I'm a little less strange then, and they welcome me the next time I come.
Yeah. But the problem is we keep going back and forth. Even if you get treatment where they try to treat us like second-class citizens, we just keep going back. You all got to get your hair done, okay? And I know that's very important to you, but you won't support black-owned beauty supply stores,
Believe it or not, there are several here in in Las Vegas, black-owned hair and beauty salons here, and those are the ones that I frequent. I don't give my dollars to where my dollars are not appreciated or where I'm not appreciated. I won't do it. I'd rather do, if I do braids, yes, I'll do my braids, but I won't buy it from a store that is not black owned. Right. So there's several here, and those are the ones that I frequent. So I've redirected my dollars, and maybe that's what a lot of us need to start doing, is to find black owned or minority businesses, even if they are Hispanic owned, but they should be minority owned businesses, and stop filtering your dollars through white owned companies that really don't give a shit about you. They really don't give a shit. You know, they're going to take your dollars, buy what they want to do, live the good life, and then treat you like shit outside the store.
Or worse yet, use your dollars to pay the lobbyists to pass legislation that is against your interest.
Exactly. So we have to start thinking about how our dollars should be directed, and especially within our own communities. We have to.
I remember at my old job, there was a gay woman that I worked with, lovely woman, and she would get her lunch from Chick-fil-A or whatever, the Chick-flick or whatever that place is called. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? Like, she's like, it's good. And I'm like, it boggled the mind, you know. She was fully aware of the political stance on things, and you know, it affected her community, clearly. But she continued, you know. That one little purchase in her mind didn't make a big deal, didn't make a difference. It wasn't
if everybody felt that way, well, a lot of people do, but like, say for instance, in reverse, if everybody felt that if they just stopped putting their dollars and eating at Chick-fil-A, do you know what that would do?
Yeah, they'd go the way of Krispy Kreme, which I miss and lament every day.
We got one down here. They're opening new ones up down here. I'll sing your box.
Oh.
Rest it to you, okay?
Yeah. I can't stand Krispy Kreme.
Better than Dunkin'. Better than Dunkin'. Any day.
Yeah.
Well, you know, but you know, we. I mean, I don't know. We're never going to change our habits, you know, as consumers, you know. So.
But I think, Reggie, you know, I think that it does start with us as an individual. It starts with us, because we can't, you know, even on these programs, we can't tell people, you know, stop buying here and stop doing that. I think that a lot of times we need to lead by example, because I think we had spoken about leaders before. Yeah. Each one of us has a responsibility, especially when we talk about being a part of the media. Yeah. We have a responsibility to be an example for those who are in our community, be a leader within doing some of the things that will count, that will make a difference. So, well, you know, like I said, I buy my hair at black-owned beauty supplies. So I do all of my shopping at black-owned beauty supplies.
Yeah. So. And I bring my hot tea from home. I'm not going to pay $3 and $4 for no daggone hot tea.
Yeah, I have a nice 24-inch bottle that I use, insulated bottle at work. Mm-hmm. I make my tea with my chocolate creamer, and I call it a day. I'm not fitting to pay those Starbucks prices.
I never could understand the hype.
Yeah,
I can't understand the hype. I can go and get my creamer from the store and buy my little, what is it? It's some kind. It's called cappuccino froth or whatever. Mm-hmm. But as long as you're pouring it in, if you pour it in the cup, put your coffee in, which is hot, then pour that in or whatever. Froth like Starbucks. You can do that at home. Why are you spending all of that money for one cup of coffee? That's what I don't get. I just had someone give me a Starbucks card, a gift card. I gave it to one of my coworkers. I don't do Starbucks. It's a waste to me.
Yeah.
It is a waste. I can buy a whole tin of coffee for what I would pay for one cup of coffee. at Starbucks. Makes no sense.
It's a status, it's a status symbol. It reminds me of online video games. Like I remember once I was homesick for a number of weeks and wasn't really well. So just to keep myself occupied, I was doing something stupid like Farmville or whatever those stupid things are on Facebook. And it felt like another job, because you had to do certain things at a certain time or you'd lose the fake money you invested. But you would get so happy when you got a few dimes off of whatever you did that you would spend it immediately on the newest product they had for you to purchase for your farm. And when I see people buying Starbucks or other impulse item purchases like that, and I catch myself doing it too sometimes, it just takes me back to that video game. Like I just earned this coin and wasted it on this, as opposed to saving it for something much more substantial that will improve the quality of my life. It's like I said in the last show. Like I said in the last show, we're caught up in immediate gratification. I am entitled to have this, even though I can't afford it.
That's the mindset I think that we all have to get out of.
Yeah.
We have to get out of that mindset. I think that over time, personally, I think I've grown when it comes to that. And I think that when I was in my 20s and my early 30s, I thought that. But as time has gone on and I have matured, and that's what I would have as a hope for younger people, that they finally get it and stop binge spending, as I call it.
Well, maybe if they added a real home economics and financial classes to high school, that would be a good start. They don't teach us how to manage our money growing up. They teach you how to cook if you get home economics at all.
But sometimes I don't think that we can depend on the schools to do that. You're talking about schools now who are, they're stretched to the gills when we talk about overcrowding. You're talking about teachers who are underpaid. The federal government or any of the local government, they're not helping with the operation of the tools that are supposed to be there for the children.
Please. We have the money. Look, if we can afford to pay for over $30 million of freaking Trump's travel back and forth to Bellagio, if we can pay billions of dollars to drop bombs on 3 empty buildings in Syria, then we can fix this. We can invest in our schools. We choose not to.
I agree with you. But some of these things start with home.
Yeah.
The unfortunate part is that, we have some parents who don't have the education themselves when it comes to providing some sort of information for their children when we talk about being economically sound or making sound decisions in how you spend your money or how to even balance your checkbook. Some kids haven't even seen a checkbook. They don't even know what it looks like because now everybody walks around with a debit card. But I think that sometimes that is where we have to understand that we have to get away from always looking for the schools to be the end all of all when it comes to educating our kids. And I'm not speaking of just Black kids. I'm talking about kids in general.
Right.
Because we have, teachers of all races who really care about the education of these young minds.
Yeah.
But we have to start caring about their young minds as well and being a part of what these teachers are being do. So we have to do our part too.
This is true, but then like you said, if the parents don't know, then somebody has to be within that circle to teach that.
But that's where I think your community comes in.
Right.
I think people that are of certain education. If you've got someone in your community who is an economic major, or even a stockbroker, or someone who deals in real estate, they know the ins and outs of money. These are the people that need to be in the community and holding workshops for within that community so that they can teach the adults to teach their children.
Right.
We've just fallen off by the wayside on everything that we've done. And everything that I think that our ancestors have worked for and worked hard for and died for, we have fallen off.
And
Totally.
let me just go back to something that you said, Reggie. and I know you were in the heat of the moment, but burning down places
He
is
looks
not an
mad.
answer.
Don't he look mad?
He looks mad.
Reggie looks mad.
You know, burning down places is not the answer.
Wow.
And if any, because that's just it's going to give them further fuel to justify militarization of the police, further fuel to justify.
It's already militarized.
Well, I mean, but they can go so much further than they have.
They already done it. Let me tell you something. The way the economy is in this country and the way things are going in some of these African American communities, the hard hit communities in our inner cities, something's going to jump off after a while, okay? All right? These police killings of black men, unarmed black men, whether justified or not justified, it's going to set things off, okay? It's just a matter of time, okay? Because no one really wants to address the issues, okay? When you see black men getting arrested for just sitting at a table, things of that nature, it takes away the hope of a lot of young black males, okay? That they can do something productive one day, okay? That they can make a difference in society. And the way certain segments of the population are pushing back on the black community, there's something that's going to happen. You know, we need to face reality. You know, I feel like a lot of communities and, you know, working in and out of the inner city communities, it's just a time bomb waiting to happen. You know, Black America is not going to take too much more of these shootings of black men. Okay.
And don't you think that's what they want, though? I mean, we know that there's a segment of the population that wants a race war.
I don't think, like I said, we are already at war. You know, this is war right here. It's technology. Okay. You know, the only problem we have in our community is the alt-right nationals. They go out and protest and march. Okay. We do to a certain extent, but they keep their flames burning. And we don't do that. Like I said time and time before, and then we agreed last week that we have to be leaders in our community. But still, we need that national voice that can rally us together, and we need a rallying cry, you know, because we just stuck right now.
I don't disagree, but I don't think burning down establishments is the right answer.
I'm old school, okay? I don't see enough shit last the whole lifetime, okay? Mm-hmm. All right? You know,
I hear you.
I'm going on 61 years old. I've been around for a while. I've seen it. I was in it. Okay? And you get tired of this mess. You get tired of fighting, okay? You get tired of seeing your young black men. You know, I'm tired of young black men killing each other, okay? Mm. We've got to wake up and take control of our own community. What they like is what we're doing right now. Nothing, okay?
Yeah.
You know, you got, like I said, if you look at Philadelphia, there were a few handful of Black Lives Matter movement came together to address the issue, you know, but for the most part, you know, most people are just going to walk away from it because it's something that doesn't interest them anymore. Boycott, you know. I guess I'm just too old school, you know. I expect things to change, okay? I expect us to fight for change. You know, I'm sorry, I'm just that way, and I got to realize too that a generation 20 years younger than me really doesn't care about that anymore.
You're not alone.
Accept things the way they are, you know, and they'll go to their grave accepting things the way they are. But I know if we come together, we can make this a better America. Yeah. Simple as that.
I don't disagree with you, and I agree we need to fight and have our voices heard. I just don't agree with burning up establishments. We don't need a gutted out city like Detroit throughout the entire country. They never built back. You know, that didn't solve anything for them. DC
built back and came back strong. A lot of areas built back. Durham, North Carolina built back. Memphis built back. A lot of cities built back. Detroit has been leadership issues. That's been Detroit's problem. Lack of money. And ones who there, they know how to spend the money.
Now, as soon as it gets gentrified, they'll find that money right quick.
And that was us. We've been running Detroit. You know, we just didn't run it right. You know, but you look at cities like D.C., the areas that got burned out in 1968 in D.C. are thriving with a number of African-American businesses and stuff. Durham, North Carolina, Raleigh, Atlanta, you know, Los
Angeles. Yeah,
you know, you name it, they're doing better. You know, so fiscal responsibility has put Detroit in the news. But like I said, I'm just disappointed that we have, not me, but a lot of my brothers and sisters in the African American community just take this as another walk in the park. And I've seen by some of the comments on Facebook that, like they say, why boycott? Why hold a company responsible for something that happened in one store, in a location, in a community?
I just don't know that this is the one I would hitch my ride to. I think there are other companies throughout the country that are much more egregious.
They have got caught in the way.
Yeah,
they got caught in the way.
But I don't think it's just that. I don't think that we're just speaking on the fact that it was just this particular company, Starbucks. I think that the broader picture is that you've got a whole lot of companies other than Starbucks that is allowing these sort of incidents to happen. And whether you choose to hitch your wagon to this company or not, your wagon still needs to be hitched to something. Because if not, then what we're seeing right now is just going to get progressively worse. Worse.
Yeah. And like you said before,
stop it.
Yeah. Well, like you said before, we need to make a more concerted effort to invest in our community and our businesses, help lift them up, help them get the loans that they need to open up shop in the community. We'll have to, that's a place to start.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to just say hi to Jacqueline before we move on. Hey, Jacqueline.
Now, let me just say this real quick. So we're going to have this diversity training tomorrow morning. And the people, that manager and his people in Biloxi, Mississippi ain't going to give a hoot about no damn diversity training, okay?
That just makes it a lot easier to fire them if they have another incident like this.
Why? How they gonna fire?
Who's gonna fire?
You can be
who's gonna fire?
You can be a racist and not be blatant about it, okay? You can walk on that radar, okay? You know how far you can go in providing great customer service, okay? So that's why I'm saying, yeah, good. It's a good move on the CEO's part to do diversity training, but you got pockets of the country in South Carolina and in the South that this ain't gonna happen one bit.
Well, what else can he do as a CEO? I mean, he's limited in what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, he's not gonna get out and visit all 8,000 stores every year. I mean, it's no way in the world. It's not possible,
Let him be the undercover boss.
But he and representatives and agents of that organization could.
Yeah.
I mean, he could not do it by himself, of course.
Let that new COO make the rounds.
Yeah, well, what it needs to do is put secret shoppers. Use the concept of secret shoppers more to go in and evaluate these stores.
Yeah.
And then I think you probably will end up finding a lot of people, but you're going to find those pockets where individuals just aren't going to conform to change.
Yeah.
And that's with any company. Your location, based on where your location is, those people aren't going to conform to change. They're not.
Well, they can conform to the unemployment line.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, but like I said, we got to raise our voices. Whether it's Starbucks, Xerox, I don't care who it is. We got to raise our voices and let them know we're not going to accept business as usual anymore. And that's where the whole problem lies. We're afraid of losing our $50,000, $60,000, and $70,000 a year jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the bottom line of it. We'll walk around and let a white person call us a nigger, and we won't say nothing about it. Or they just joking. Because we don't want to make waves in the company.
I don't know anybody that would say that.
I wish somebody would.
I know, Tony. I know you will.
No. I mean, just.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah, but I'm sure that individuals that have that type of mentality and attitude, they don't want to lose what they got.
Oh no, I don't. I'm not saying that people won't say that. I'm saying I don't know anybody in my circle that would say, "Oh, he's just joking." But Tony, you know what I just realized is we need to recognize our sponsors before the show ends.
Oh, I know. I was like all into Reggie's madness. I was like, hey. I was like, hey, Reggie.
Burn it down. Burn it down.
I know.
I'm very definitely work.
Oh my gosh. Before we move on, I do want to say that Real World News TV and the Hot Topics Talk Radio, I'm looking at two different cameras. I'm sorry. I got crap over here. Where was I?
Real World News.
Just right here, the fingers, man.
Real World News TV and also the Hot Topics Talk Radio Network is sponsored by Shades of Africa in 2 locations, in the city of Corona and in the city of Long Beach. Also sponsored by the Urban Sentinel. That handsome guy right there is the editor-in-chief, Mr. Reggie Kearney. So we thank Reggie for all of his support and also hosting Real World News TV. Also sponsored by Ms. Gina Smith of SPMG Media. Thank you, Ms. Gina Smith, for always holding us down and making sure that we are seen throughout this great continent. We are hitting 12 countries. So thank you for all your hard work for over the past 7 years. And also, Miss Stephanie Jenkins, I'd like to recognize her. Stephanie Jenkins is a representative and agent of FES Protection Plan, and that is an organization that helps you get your credit in line. So as we're talking about putting our dollars in the right place, this is the woman you need to be speaking to, Miss Stephanie Jenkins. For information regarding all of our sponsors, head on over to our website at hottopicstalkradio.com/sponsors. And while you're there, check out some of the other pages and also the hosts of all of the shows under the Hot Topics Talk Radio Network. I thank you so much, and let's move on.
No, before we close, I want to give a shout out to the young man in Texas, Michael Brown, who won 20 scholarships.
Yeah,
That's right.
But this is the problem I have. There were, here in D.C., at the Fox affiliation, and D.C. is a pretty liberal town, the 2 white co-hosts on the morning D.C. Fox and morning time show had an issue with him winning 20 scholarships because they said he shouldn't have applied for so many scholarships because he was limiting the opportunity for others to fill those slots and seats. White folks just won't give us a break for nothing, okay? That's why I make that.
You know what? I'm trying not to comment.
they just won't get. And like the young man said, he told them that DC Fox 5 could not air his interview unless they apologized to him. That he didn't want them saying anything about us about him because he was thinking about suing. We just can't get a break. And there are white folks out there that think had applied too many colleges. I would say they apply to every university and college in America. You know, so again, here we go. We're being put into a vacuum, we're being put into a box, and people in white America, some people in white America are trying to say we can only do this and that. We don't have that permission to apply for 20 colleges, okay? You know, and it's the same thing. That's why I say, you know, Starbucks might be this great company with the CEO. He's all smiley and bothered. You know, he's trying to do the best, put the best foot forward. But it's still, at the end of the day, it's still the same old crap over and over again. We're being pigeonholed by certain Americans to do, saying, look, okay, y'all Negroes need to stay in your place, okay? There's only so much y'all can do in the country, you know. That's another thing that bothers them, too. Because we are more vocal now than ever, you know, and that bothers them, you know. We're not staying in our place, you know, like Trump wants to make America great again, you know, but we won't stay in our place.
I just wish somebody would tell me to stay in my place.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, what? That place over there, right there, over there? Yeah, I'll hit all of them. And I hope I run your ass down while I'm hitting them. Because I'm just that way. I'm sorry, Chair. Because I don't have the good sense God gave me. And I know this. And the good Lord knows what he made. So I'll just run with that.
Yeah, so the battle continues. You know. Battle continues.
Oh, I want to read Jacqueline's comment before we get off because I think we've got about 4 minutes, about 3.5 minutes. She says that Trumpism is alive and well to white people. Trump can get away with acting
ignorant.
She wrote something else. Because the way he does, because of his money. Otherwise, I don't get why he still is in office. He you are different, you will pay. Lose it all. Be careful. She also says we have to stand against racism on any level. Sorry that Starbucks is about to get the brunt of it all, but you need to know who's working in your company and deal with them properly. I have to agree. Ms. Chair went somewhere, and I don't know where she went. There she went. But I have to agree. There you are, Chair, in two places.
Yeah. So that's why I agree with her. You know, it's too bad Starbucks got caught up in the middle of this. Okay, I mean, they just got caught up.
You know, of all the companies, because they really, and maybe I'm wrong, but I've always had the impression that they attempted to be an altruistic company, putting aside the fact that they're selling their products at too high a price, and you know it's really for the affluent.
Right.
There's some companies like Hobby Lobby and Walmart, like you said, and H&M that are so blatant and egregious. You know, I would love to see a genuine boycott against them. I mean, look at what happened. People still buying Tommy Hilfiger. You know, so,
right.
You know, it's just.
We don't want to give up the things.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah. It's the things. We are a slave to retail.
All the stuff.
The stuff. You're right. You're right.
Y'all,
you know,
and
we see how important it is.
I don't have any Louis Vuitton. I think it's tacky.
Oh,
always have. Always have.
You probably got Chanel, either Gucci or Coach.
Don't have that either.
Oh, I have Coach.
You got a Kmart bag.
I don't have that. Now I like
bought
Michael
my Coach.
Kors.
Well, yeah, I got Michael Kors too.
But he's got some problems too, from what I understand. So,
yeah.
Don't we all?
Yeah. So we are down to 6:29, and we are ready to get out of here. So I want to say thank you to everyone who has been listening in to Real World News TV with Reggie and that beautiful Miss Chair and Tappan. I'm going to say this to Reggie. Reggie, you my baby daddy.
Okay.
You know, I had to do it. I really do it.
Oh, boy. You got so much fun on this show.
Oh, my gosh. But I do want to say thank you to those who have been sitting in and watching tonight. And I'm hoping that whatever was said has somehow struck a chord with you. But I'm very serious that we need to take all of this very serious, because we are getting in a place that it's getting worse. And we have to really concentrate on where we're putting our dollars and how we're teaching our children to live in this really crazy world. But I want to invite you guys to follow Real World News TV on Facebook. And also make sure that you go to our website at hottopicstalkradio.com/Real World News. You guys have been great. I really thank you guys, Reggie and Sheriff, for allowing me to sit in. You know, I always have fun with you guys because you guys let me cuss.
You got to do it for us. I got one in.
Yes, you did. I'm so proud of you. Yes, my child. Yes.
So liberating. So liberating and cathartic.
I know it was. But I really thank you guys for allowing me to sit in. And you guys that are looking in on us, you can catch Real World News TV with these two great hosts every Tuesday night. The show always begins at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 Central, and 8:30 on the East Coast. Before I get out of here, I do want to invite you to come and sit in tomorrow night with myself, or I shouldn't say myself because that's not English proper, with me, Roland D. and Yvonne Baker. Tomorrow night we've got a great show lined up for you on Hot Topics Talk Radio. The question of the topic is, could you date a minister or a pastor? That's the question. I got some stuff. Sherry, you could not?
I dated a deacon, and that just kept bouncing around in my head. Like,
so when it became romantic, did you call him deacon? Or did you call him by his name?
I just kept asking myself, how is this right in your head, given your beliefs? How is this behavior okay? So it was a challenge.
Yeah, it is a challenge. And that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow night on Hot Topics Talk Radio. So join me, Roland D. and Yvonne Baker tomorrow night. The show starts at 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Central, and 11 o'clock on the East Coast. And I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night's show, because I might even let out a couple of secrets about my past. I'm not going to say no.
Don't forget to bring your baby daddy.
Tony, Tony, you from LA, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna call Bishop Noah Jones up and ask him, do he know you? Okay.
I know him.
I'm gonna ask him how well does he know you? Okay.
Let's hope he lies. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I am kidding. He's got a woman anyway. See, I know these things.
He got a fiance. Call him up and ask him if he ever run into you.
I hope he lies. So anyway, I thank you guys for sitting in with Real World News TV. And again, thank you, Reggie and Chera, for allowing me to sit in. I have truly enjoyed myself. And I see that Al Brooks just put up a comment. Yes, you missed everything. He said, did I miss everything? Yes, you missed everything. So come on back on Hot Topics tomorrow night.
You can go to YouTube.
So thanks, everybody, for tonight. And we really, truly appreciate your support and your love. And we will see you back here on Real World News TV next week on Tuesday night. You guys have a wonderful rest of your evening, fantastic rest of your week. And I will see you tomorrow night on Hot Topics Talk Radio. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.